Namaskaram, Bagun Nara. Welcome to Curious Minds podcast. I am your host, Ramakrishna, chartered accountant. Exactly 10 years back, I was sitting in my office in Hyderabad, sipping a very strong Irani chai and reading a freshly published, very expensive report from a global consultancy. The headline was terrifying. It warned that routine accounting tasks would be heavily automated. It said the profession as we knew it might shrink dramatically. We were all going to be replaced by the Robo-Accountant. Algorithms were going to eat our ledgers, they said. Well, it is 2026. I am still here. My spreadsheets are still here only. And quite frankly, my billable hours have never been higher, boss. Why? Because those consultants predicted the what? That machines would do math faster. But they completely missed the how. They forgot that numbers without human context are simply noise. Consultants love to predict the future. It is a very profitable business, you see. But how many of them actually get it right? Today we are not looking at a new crystal ball. We are looking at the receipts. Wait, you might be thinking, Are Ramakrishna, you are a chartered accountant. What do you know about education, what to study, all this? Look, this is like a part-time hobby of mine. It is truly fascinating to think what could be those cool tech in the future. Also, I just want to help someone who is actually looking for answers. I am not an expert, but I just looked into the past because very few people actually do this sort of analysis. If you're a student, a professional thinking of a pivot, or a parent nervously looking at university brochures, put down the prospectus. Let's look at the actual balance sheet of human capital. Every summer, my phone rings. Some uncle, a cousin, or a neighbor. They will ask the exact same question only. Ramakrishna, my daughter got into a computer science program and a finance program. Which one has the best ROI? Which one is pakka future resilient? Simply they're panicking on the internet about artificial intelligence stealing our livelihoods. We treat technology like a tidal wave that is coming to wash away our careers. But as an accountant, I don't deal in panic. I deal in data. Technology doesn't take jobs. In my opinion, it refines them. It depreciates the routine and it compounds the complex. The future is not no jobs. It is different job shapes. Today, we are moving past the hype. We are going to look at the exact skills that have survived the hype cycles of the last decade. We will map the golden 5 competencies. And then, we are going to look 10 years into the future to the year 2036. We are going to find the unautomatable gaps. Grab a notebook. Let's open the ledger. Let's start with a retrospective audit. I went back and pulled the major workforce prediction reports from the top global consultancies, published between 2015 and 2025. And yes, for our research, we actually went through the real historical data. We examined the fine print of what they claimed back then versus what actually happened. I wanted to see the track record. First, let's look at their hits. They were absolutely right about the cloud transition. They were right about the mobile-first economy. Reports as early as 2016 accurately flagged cloud technology as the top driver of change. If you bet your career on cloud infrastructure a decade ago, you are sitting very comfortably right now, fully settled. But then we look at the misses and they were spectacular. They vastly overestimated the speed of full autonomous driving. Many mid-2010s reports thought millions of driving and logistics jobs would vanish by the early 2020s. They didn't. Because driving isn't just about navigating a map, it is about navigating human unpredictability. The pedestrian stepping off the curb, the erratic cyclist, the sudden auto rickshaw crossing your path. No? But their biggest miss, they completely underestimated the sheer human energy required to audit artificial intelligence. Early reports assumed AI would be a plug-and-play oracle that replaced cognitive labor entirely. Instead, it acts like a brilliant, highly productive, and occasionally hallucinating intern. We are already seeing this. Today, the financial sector is rapidly scaling roles for AI risk auditors to validate algorithmic models, directly reflecting the surge in AI governance demand highlighted by the World Economic Forum. And what do you need when you have a million brilliant interns? You need managers, you need auditors, you need people in the loop to verify the output. The lesson here is profound. The automation of a task does not mean the elimination of the profession. It simply shifts the human requirement from creation to curation. So if we strip away the failed predictions and the hype cycles, what remains? I cross-referenced multiple annual skills surveys from major consulting firms and global economic forums over the last 5 years. I found 5 core competencies that consistently ranked high across reports, regardless of whether crypto was booming or AI was dominating the news. To make this easy to remember, I have categorized them. These are the 5 core trend areas. The golden thread of opportunity zones. Number 1. Defense systems, cyber biosecurity. Our episode 11 of Curious Minds covered this briefly. We are entering an era where code and DNA intersect. When you can program a cell the way you program a computer, you suddenly need firewalls for biology. The people who can secure a hospital's digital infrastructure and its genomic databanks are writing their own paychecks. Number 2. Control systems, AI orchestration. Notice I did not say coding. Strictly speaking, basic coding will be expected, but not sufficient. As it becomes common, the real value shifts towards systems thinking and orchestration. The future belongs to the orchestrator. This is the person who doesn't play the violin. They conduct the symphony. They know how to chain 3 different AI models together to solve a complex supply chain crisis. Number 3. Build systems. Renewable infrastructure logistics. We talk endlessly about solar panels and wind farms. But building a green world is the largest physical supply chain pivot in human history. The green supply chain expert, the person who figures out how to mine, transport, and recycle lithium efficiently, is the true architect of the energy transition. Number 4. Secure future systems, quantum cryptography. The quantum wall is coming. The day a quantum computer breaks standard RSA encryption, the entire global financial system needs a new lock. The mathematicians and engineers preparing the cryptographic safety nets for that exact day are invaluable. And number 5, judge systems, interdisciplinary ethics. Our episode 28 covered this. I call these the red teamers of the social world. When an AI decides who gets a mortgage and who doesn't, you cannot just have an engineer review it. You need a philosopher, a sociologist, and a legal expert rolled into one. You need someone who can audit the morality of the math. Now, let us project this data forward. Let us look at 2036. My advice to the parents calling me is always the same only. Stop looking at computer science as a monolith. A generic coding degree in 2036 will be like knowing how to use Microsoft Word today. It is expected but not rewarded. In the future economy, the niche is the new mass. The intersections are where the wealth is generated. Let me give you 3 illustrative scenarios of what these roles could look like in 10 years. Now, how accurate is this 2036 prediction? Should we treat this as factual? Yes, but with a strict caveat. These are not guaranteed job titles, but the underlying skills are already emerging. They are illustrative scenarios representing where the economic margin is moving. The title on the business card might vary, but the required function is a factual necessity. First, the space accountant. Yes, you heard me right. As the orbital economy booms, someone has to manage the logistics. We have an impending crisis of orbital debris. Who calculates the liability when a defunct satellite crashes into a private solar array? Who does the resource accounting for lunar water extraction? The orbital economy needs a balance sheet, correct? Second, the digital archaeologist. Decades of legacy code, from ancient COBOL to early neural networks, are buried deep inside our global infrastructure. When a modern AI system interfaces with a 30-year-old banking database and something breaks, you need a digital archaeologist, someone who can dig through the Babel code of the past and translate it safely into the future. Third, the synthetic bio-auditor. We are entering the age of lab-grown organs and immortal concrete that heals its own cracks. But before a building is constructed with living materials, who ensures it meets safety and financial regulations? The bio-auditor. They straddle the line between the FDA, Wall Street, and the laboratory. So, we come to the climax of our audit. What do you actually do with this information today? Let me speak to you as a chartered accountant. When I look at a client's wealth, I never advise them to put all their money into one highly volatile tech stock. I tell them to build a portfolio. You hedge your bets. You must apply this exact same financial logic to your child's education. Build one stable base skill, then pair it with one fast-growing domain. Combine a stable utility like law, accounting, or mechanical engineering with a high-growth tech like AI ethics, genomics, or data orchestration. Here is a counterintuitive insight. The safest careers are not in technology. They are in the intersection of technology and responsibility. If you study law, don't just be a lawyer. Be the lawyer who understands the intellectual property rights of AI-generated drug compounds. If you study accounting, be the accountant who can audit a carbon credit blockchain. The magic, the absolute highest ROI, is always found at the hyphen. And please, hear me on this. Do not underestimate the common sense check. In 2036, knowing Python alone will not be the differentiator. C++ alone will not be enough. The ultimate differentiator will be critical thinking. An AI can generate 1,000 strategic business plans in 10 seconds. But only a human can sit in a room, read the room, understand the cultural nuances of the client, and decide which of those 1,000 plans won't cause a strike on the factory floor. We spend so much time fearing the machines. We forget the fundamental rule of economics. Scarcity creates value. If a machine can do a task instantly and perfectly, the economic margin for that task goes to zero. It becomes a commodity. But if a task requires empathy, cross-domain intuition, ethical judgment, or a deep understanding of human irrationality, that is scarce. And if only a human can do it, you set the price. So here is your challenge for the week. Look at your own job. Look at your daily routine. Find your unautomatable gap. Identify the one thing you do that requires your specific, messy, beautiful human judgment. Double down on that. Protect it. Cultivate it. Because the ROI of tomorrow belongs to those who can do what machines can't explain. I'm Ramakrishna, and this is Curious Minds Podcast. Thank you for opening the ledger with me today. Take it light. Stay curious, stay sharp, and always diversify your intellectual portfolio.